everyone, it's Amber and I'm finally back with my next craft fair series project. I am calling these my Wanderlust journals and I just absolutely love these things. I was very inspired by these right here. These are like cut aparts that I found by the One Canoe, I think it's called One Canoe 2, and it's the Creekside collection. And let me show you what I used. I didn't have the paper pad for that collection, but when I went to Joanne, I think it was Joanne's, they had like individual sheets of these beautiful cut aparts. And I just got very inspired. So when I came home, I found a paper pad that would go with them. So this is the cut apart sheet. I hope you can see that. So it's the 6 images and I was just absolutely inspired by this sheet. So this is like copy paper weight. It's not scrapbook paper weight, but you can get this collection and it's the scrapbook paper weight if you get the collection, and you can also get the individual sheets that are the scrapbook paper weight as well. I just happened to go to Joann's and they always have the versions of the scrapbook paper like the copy paper weight. So I'm going to link, I found this collection below. I'll link it and I'll also link the pack that you can get of just the individual cut aparts if you want to do the same thing that I'm doing. So I think this was my last sheet. I used several of them. So for the paper collection that I pulled to go with it so I could cover the journals in the background, as you can see. So I used this Dear Lizzie collection called Stargazer, and I got this at Tuesday Morning, and it has all these prints. Well, it had. I used almost every sheet. As you can see, there's only a few left here. So I almost killed this entire paper pad with this project. So those are the papers that I use. So these are the ones that I'm going to do the tutorial on today, but I will give you the dimensions and everything for the other size. The dimensions on these are pretty much 5 by 7, so I'll show you what I used to make them. I think these are so pretty. I covered the front and the back. I put the beautiful image on here, and then I used a different print for the back. And then on the inside, I created a pocket using the same paper that I used on the back, and then I just cut 2 tags out of the same paper. So that's, and then the inside here is covered as well. There's just not a pocket. So there's that one. This one is one of my favorites. The Mountains Are Calling and I Must Go. And then let me show you the other ones that I made. These are slightly larger, and I'm going to show you the dimensions of them in a second, but I'm just going to show you these quickly. I did the same thing with the pocket. This is my absolute favorite one. I love this one. There's this one. I love this one too. This is so pretty with the green. And then, like I said, it's got all the lined paper to journal on. And then here's the back. Let's Get Lost. And another one with the mountains. So there's the journals that I've made so far for my craft fair. Just let me show you what I used to make these. Okay, so these are the 2 notebooks that I used. Now you can get these multiple places, but these are the best that I have found and I like to work with. So this is the first one. These I got from Walmart, and let me show you some of the others that I have found. Okay, so let me put this one aside. So these are the 5x7 junior composition notebooks. This one is the one I found at Walmart. These you can find at the Dollar Tree if you're lucky. They used to carry them all the time, but I have a hard time finding them in my Dollar Tree now. So there's these, and then I found these at Dollar General, Dollar General. So these are the 3 different styles that I have found, but the Walmart ones are by far the best quality. The canvas strip is always sealed really good. The ones from Dollar Tree are a little bit flimsy and sometimes they come apart, but I have used these as well, and it's a little more scraggly on the edges, if you can see here. So those are a little more cheap quality, and then the ones from Dollar General are pretty good usually. The problem that I've seen with these is the same thing, the black canvas stuff starts to peel up sometimes. So, and then last but not least, these are the cheapest as well. I found these at Walmart, I think for 85 or 87 cents. And then I found them before for 67 cents. I don't know if that was like a back to school price, but normally I think they're like 80 something cents. And then these are always $1 each. So I went and got a stack of these. This is my last one. We're going to do the tutorial with this. And then the larger size that I picked up is a really nice quality as well. I found these at Big Lots, and these are about 7.9 by 5.5 inches. And so I have the dimensions of the paper that I used for this as well, but we're going to do the tutorial today on this small size here. Okay, so I'm going to show you the materials that you're going to need for this project really quickly. Of course, the composition books of your choice. I use my ATG gun, my paper trimmer, scrapbook paper. I used a corner rounder. And then this next item is completely optional. You do not need this. You don't even close to need this. But since I have it, I used it. And that's just for the tags that we put in the pockets. And also optional is a circle punch of any kind. And then some of the most important tools in this project, probably the most important tool, is a bone folder and some Scor tape. Or strong tape or strong adhesive. So I use the 1/4 inch and the 2 inch and my ATG gun for the adhesive in this. And then the last adhesive is also optional, and it's this Tombow, my new favorite glue, the Tombow Mono liquid glue, and it's for the pockets. So any liquid glue will work for the pocket. And then just, a pair of scissors just in case you need it. And so I know this looks like a lot of stuff, but really it's probably most stuff that you guys have on hand already or comparable items. I'm going to link everything you see here below. Most importantly, the Scor tape that I used. This 2-inch Scor tape for this project is a dream. And if you watched my videos last year, you know that I used this on the larger composition notebooks, which I will also be using for this. So this tape right here is a dream, and I will link it below for you. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I don't think I have both pieces completely in frame, but you are going to need 2 pieces of scrapbook paper for this project. And I started out with 2 pieces of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. Now when I say scrapbook paper, I mean pattern cardstock. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the images that I used to decorate the front are like a paper weight. You don't have to use this weight. That's just what I had on hand. But if you get this paper collection, which I'll link below, it comes with the scrapbook paper weight of this image. So what you're going to need is 2 12 by 12 pieces, and you're not going to use the entire thing. So I've already cut mine apart. So all you need to worry about cutting is 2 different pieces at 9 inches by 7 inches. So make sure that the 7 inches is up and down if you have a design. So as you can see here, I have a heart. So I make sure that it's going the right way at the 7 inches and then across 9 inches, because essentially it's going to be going like this on your book. And then this one as well could really go anyway, but I cut it, again, 9 by 7. And after you cut that out, you're left with scraps. So you're left with this scrap here and this one. You need to put these aside. So you're left with this one and this one. So put these aside because you're going to use them later on in the project. The very first thing you're going to do is grab your notebook, and a lot of them come with a sticker here and it annoys me, but I guess they have to do that. But you have to go ahead and try to peel it off. The Walmart ones, like I said, are the easiest ones to peel off. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is take your Scor Tape. So make sure that you do this all the way to that edge. And I like to go, like I said, along with my 1/4 inch Scor Tape all the way to the edge. And I was, if a lot of you are concerned about the poly covers sticking, I tested it out before, and the Scor Tape and the ATG tape stick permanently and really, really well. Get all the way there. And then as soon as you do that, this is a really important step. You're going to take your bone folder and just burnish those down. And when I say burnish, I mean get those really stuck down so the glue adheres to the notebook. So when you go to peel it off, you only get the paper part, not the glue. And then comes in the 2-inch Scor Tape. This makes your life easy, plus it makes the paper stay forever. I forgot to mention that you will need a ruler or something that has like a straight line, and I'll show you why. So you're going to take your 2-inch Scor Tape, and the nice thing about Scor Tape is, as you could see when I did this, you can tear it right off yourself. I like this to have a little bit more of a structured tear, so I use my end of my ruler and I just tear it on off like that. So this is so satisfying to use. I love it so much. Do this 3 times. 3 of these strips will fit across this notebook. You don't feel like using this much Scor Tape, you can do like 2 strips and then fill the middle in with ATG, or you could even just do 1 strip and then do ATG here and here. I just feel more comfortable having almost the entire thing with Scor Tape, because that just gives it a longer life and the paper is sure to stay. And I used this last year on my big composition notebooks, and those notebooks have stayed. A lady at my work bought one and she uses it every day, and I look at it and none of the paper has come up or anything. So this is a really good method. So what you're going to do now is simply peel these off. Okay, so now that you've got the front cover completely filled with the glue, you're going to take your piece of 9 by 7 scrapbook paper and you are going to cover this. Now the way I like to do it is turn it this way, take my page, and I like to line it up with the left corner here. Here's your black canvas strip. So I like to line it up with the bottom left corner right here. Use my hand as a guide to make sure it's lined up with the top. And then I like to make sure that I'm guiding it all along this, and so it doesn't show any of the purple color of the notebook. So once you have those 2 lines kind of lined up, you can just drop it and hopefully it will land in place. It usually works for me. None of these are perfect. You know, they're handmade. There could be a little bit off, like I can see a little tiny strip up here, but that's okay. Nobody notices it. And this step is very, very important. I'm taking my bone folder and I'm going along all of the edges where that Scor Tape, the skinny Scor Tape was, and I'm burnishing it really well so none of this flips up. Okay, so be careful when you get to this edge, because if you do it too hard, you could rip your paper. So just make sure you find where the edge of the notebook is and burnish that down really, really, really well. And then of course across the top. So then you want to take your bone folder and just burnish the entire front cover where all that Scor Tape meets the paper. This makes the paper like one with the notebook, and it's not going anywhere with that Scor Tape. Okay, so now that we have it all covered, instead of like cutting this off and trying to measure where, you know, the edges, here is the technique that I came up with last year, and I absolutely love it, and I use it for everything now. You're going to open up your notebook, and you're actually going to turn it this way. Here's the back side of your paper. Open up your notebook, and you're going to take your bone folder and crease where the edge of the notebook meets the paper. Just crease a little bit so you kind of have a starting off point. And then you're going to carefully crease your paper at the edge and fold it over. And this is a very important step because you're gonna create a crease right here for a guide when you go to glue this down. So here it is folded over, and the reason I don't take it all the way in is because I don't like the scrapbook paper to obstruct when it closes. And so I like to leave this bare. You can take it further if you want to, but I find that it's a much cleaner closure when I leave a little gap there. Okay, so right now our notebook is upside down, as you can see, but that's how I work with this. Okay, so now that you have your flap, you are going to just cover this side of your scrapbook paper with ATG. I suggest using a dry adhesive for this, so that way you can make sure you get all the way to the edge. If you want to, you can use more Scor Tape, but this is kind of how I save on the Scor Tape. Make sure you do the exact same thing. You get it on all of the edges, all the way to the edge. And then make sure you get this edge right here. And then just kind of generously fill it in. So then you're going to take it the same way that you had and make sure that you have this lined up with the top edge here. Pull it tight, but not too tight. You don't want it to rip. But follow it with your finger down, and it'll lay down perfectly. And then again, take your bone folder and burnish all of the edges. And then the middle. This makes for such a durable cover. So now let's turn our notebook around, and there we go. We have it all covered inside and out. And now we have to deal with this, how this is a straight edge and this is rounded. That is where your corner rounder comes in. Here's mine that I got from We Are Memory Keepers. I'll link it below if you don't have it. But you can use any corner rounder with this. For this project, I like using the 1/2 inch side. So I'm going to take it, and this is the side that matches closest to my notebook. So I'm going to go ahead and chomp it at the 1/2 inch side, and it matches almost perfectly. If you don't have a corner rounder, you can always just turn it around like this, find where that paper comes down right here, and just use your scissors and snip that away. You don't have to have a corner rounder. But since I have one, I'm going to go ahead and use it. And so that gives it a nice finished look, and my front cover is done. So before I do the exact same thing for my back cover, I'm going to show you something that you need to remember for the back cover. Turn your book the right way, and then turn it as if, you know, you're turning it over when it's all done, and put your paper down the way that you want it to look. So that way you can remember when you turn it sideways to glue it down, that this is how you're going to be gluing it down. So test it out. Do that before you glue it. But anyways, I'm going to do the exact same steps for the back cover, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm all done with the back cover. The last thing I just need to do is round my corners. So again, I'm using the 1/2 inch side of my corner rounder. Makes it super easy. So there it is. So now we are all covered, and back is all done. So you could leave it just like this. You can make a bunch of these. You could slam a bunch of these out for your craft fair. But I like to do a couple of extra things. So the whole point of my Wanderlust journal theme is this beautiful image. So I'm going to just have it simply go right here. But what I like to do is, since these corners are rounded and this is so close to the corner, I like to round those two right corners as well. I think it makes it have a really nice look and it matches. And so I'm going to glue this down with my ATG gun. You can then take Mod Podge and seal this, but I like to keep it with its natural look. That's just up to you. So I'm going to take my ATG and be pretty generous with it. Take it all the way to the edge like we had talked about. All right, and then I just like to make sure that I kind of see how much room I have, and just eyeball it to glue it down. These images are so beautiful, and I'm so glad that I found this paper. So our journal is almost done. Let me just burnish all the edges like I did on the notebook. And of course down the middle. And our notebook looks so cute, doesn't it? It is so pretty. So now the last thing we're going to do is use up some of our scraps that we talked about. So you are going to need your trimmer for this, just for a couple things. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the opposite of this paper. So I'm going to use the paper that's on the back for a little pocket in the front. So you end up with 3 inches, I think. 3 by 7. So I'm going to just trim this down to 2 inches because it gives it a little better look with the smaller notebook. So I'm just going to trim that down to 2 inches. And then this is where I take punch. And I punch out a little notch and I just eyeball it. You don't even have to. I left it like straight like this on some of them. But for this one, I think I am going to punch a little notch. And that's just how it looks. So then when you have the tags, you have like a little pull. So let's put that aside. And then you're going to take, okay, so this scrap is not going to be used. So you can just put that aside for another project. And then you're going to take these two. So this is like a 5-inch strip across this way. So I just like to put it in and cut these at 3 inches. So I just do one cut, and I save this for another project because I still do have some of that paper left in the paper pad. But this gives you 2 3 by 5 inch tags. So I just take my angle punch by We Are Memory Keepers and I use the large end. And I just give this like an angle punch to kind of look like a tag. You can just use your scissors for this if you don't have an angle punch, but that's what it looks like. And we're going to put these inside the pocket for like additional journaling and stuff like that, or a bookmark or whatever they want to use it for. So you're going to bring in your notebook now and open it up to the front cover. And I like to turn it this way so I can work with it better, and this lays flat. This is 7 inches across, so you know it's going to fit. And then you just need to glue the 3 sides. So this side, and this side. And you always want to use wet glue when you're doing a pocket, so that way your stuff that you put in the pocket doesn't get stuck. I'm using this Aqua Tombow Mono liquid glue, and I love it. It's my new favorite glue. It doesn't get clogged, and so I'm just doing the bottom and the 2 sides. So I let it sit there for just a second so it's not going to drip out the sides or anything. And then I take it and put it in my notebook. I like to have that lay flat, so just line it up at the edge. Don't put it all the way to the crease because, like I mentioned before, I don't want it to obstruct the closure. So when you find a good spot, just kind of press it down. The glue does give you some wiggle room, so if you don't like where it's at, you can move it. So then I turn it this way so I can see it better. And with this glue, you just kind of have to let it dry for a second. Really take your finger or your bone folder and press that inside edge down, because that's glue on plastic, and it takes a little bit more to get dried and stuck down. So now you have this really cute pocket. So I'm just going to set this aside for just a second to let it dry. Okay, so I've let it dry for a little bit. I just like to take my bone folder and press that down even more. And the sides. So then we can turn it right side. And this is how it looks. Isn't that so pretty? Here's our journal. Here's our front cover with a cute pocket. And you can put your tags in there. Just like that. People can use these for a bookmark, like in their journaling, like this, or anything. They can pretty much use these for anything they want. They can stick other stuff in there as well. So that's what I like to do. And then here's all the paper for the journaling and the back cover. Very simple, but very creative and cute. And I think these will be a great hit at your craft fair. Okay, so time to talk about the packaging. So with these, I was going to put a pen with it and like some yarn, but I really want the image to be showcased on these, and I want people to be able to flip through and choose the one they want and clearly see, you know, the front and the back. And so but I didn't want to just leave these like out in the open. I wanted to package them up. So let me show you what I'm going to do. So those are the bags I'm using. They're going to be linked below. So thick and like really nice quality. Let me show you how I'm packaging these up. Okay, so I turned the clear bag over, and so this is the back. This is the back, and the opening is at the bottom. This is the front. So what you're going to do is just take your notebook, turn it over, and slip it in top first. So that way the opening is going to be at the bottom of the notebook. So this fits so perfectly. And then just take off the adhesive strip. And I know this is self-explanatory, but so many people like this part, and so I always want to include it in my videos. Close this up. And there it is. It's a beautifully packaged journal. You can clearly see the front and the back. And it's just a great way to package up the journals and make them look so nice for your craft fair. I will leave one out so that people can flip through it and see what is on the inside if they're interested. Or if they want to open this, it's no big deal. They just can unseal it and open it. So I'm going to get the rest of these packaged up. Before I show you the pricing, I forgot I wanted to share with you the dimensions. If you wanted to get these bigger ones that you can find at Big Lots, they're very nice quality. The dimensions of the paper for these is going to be 10 wide by 7 7/8 tall. So this is one that I made, and I didn't round the corners because it kind of centered perfectly. So that is one made with this size. And I did the same thing on the inside. I did the pocket. You have plenty of scraps to make the pocket, the tags, everything. So that's the dimensions for this bigger size. Okay, now let me go ahead and package these all up, and I'll be right back to share the pricing with you. Okay, so here they all are packaged up, and I didn't mention that I do have clear bags to fit these ones as well. I didn't have the packaging with me, like with the little code on it, so I will link these below. They're approximately 6 by 9 size, but I'll link the exact ones below that you can get at clearbags.com with the coupon code. Okay, so pricing. So I thought a lot about this because I do my big composition, like the standard size composition notebooks, and I love to sell those for $5. I know a lot of people think I should sell them for more, but I do so well with that $5 price point, and they're usually like 25 cents at the end of the school year. So it really makes sense to me to do those for $5. So with that being said, I decided to sell these ones for $4. They're just as much work. You use almost as much paper. So I decided to price these at $4. I think that's a great price, and I'm not gonna, this size and this size, they're both gonna be $4. So again, here they all are packaged up. I think they look so nice like this. And I made, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I thought I had another one. Oh, looks like I missed one of these, so I'll package this one up in just a second. So that means altogether I've made 13 of these, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna make some more because I do have a few more of the of this size from the Dollar General that I'm gonna try to go ahead and use, and then I have one more of the Big Lot size. So I'll probably eventually make this many more because I do have another sheet of those pretty images. I just need to find some more scrapbook paper that I can use because I ran out of that, of the Stargazer paper pad. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. And I know that they're kind of spaced far apart, but that always happens, as most of you know, in the beginning of my craft fair series. And then I start slamming those videos out. So thank you so much for your patience. I'm so excited to share the rest of the stuff with you that I have all prepped and ready to film. It's crazy. So thank you so much again for your patience. So if you want to see more craft fair videos, please give this one a thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot. And subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any more videos. And I want to thank you again so much for your support. It means so much to me. I'm just blown away by your sweet comments, and it just makes my day every single time I read them. Thank you again, everybody, and I'll see you very soon in the next video. Bye!